So let's talk about inner dialogue. Now, there is always something very consistent about you, and that is the I. I am awake. I had a dream. I fell asleep. I. It is a constant thing, correct? Now, this I and this inner dialogue, we can go deeper into the inner dialogue by also going into that dialogue going on between yourselves during sleep. So, who are you during sleep? Who are you really? No judgment. When you look at these things without an ounce of judgment, it's so yummy. I mean, true, at times it could be a horrific movie. They wouldn't know what to rate it, right? Sci-fi, porn, extreme, I don't know. Other times, very different. That dream persona, the dreamer, kind of adds a lot of twists and turns to the personality, does it not? Like if you add elements of that sleeping dreamer, although you never know if that's really the waking one. my comical, not so funny, maybe not even entertaining at all, point is that it's really good when you're going deep into the inner dialogue to take into account, to have a dream journal, to even go as far as having a dream journal so that you can not just record your dreams and note that if you're working on your chakras or if you're working on something, that is all the trend these days, to make it multi-purpose, like everything, that word, everybody who I pass teachings on to learns it, because I say it a lot. Make things multi-purpose instead of multitasking. Make things serve you instead of you serving them, even the ones you create. So, listening to the inner dialogue of that dreamer is really, really good. And so as you record your dreams, now don't just note down what you see, what you saw. I saw it was a cabin in the woods late at night, and sometimes you'll know if the earth was wet, if it was muddy. You'll be able to remember the crackling of the leaves. You looked around and you can write a complete movie scene or two. And you will note all this down. But now go deeper. What kind of a person were you? How did you feel? Who were you in that dream? And try to note things down as soon as you wake up. Just inhaling, exhaling. And sometimes people will go as far as program the mind to, and you'll hear this in many YouTube meditations where it'll say, I am going to sleep now. My body is going to restore and repair and rejuvenate, and I will recollect my dreams in the morning. For lucid dreaming, for all sorts of practices, and abilities and things, they have this note on remembering the dream. So if you want to go as far as activating the mind, getting it ready to remember, I will remember as much as possible, especially who I am during this night of sleep. And so get into the analyzation of that dreamer, if it's possible. Some people do not remember their dreams at all, but that's something that you can tell changes when certain chakras start opening too, or when you do advanced breath work and you start getting into deeper things. Also for people that do the yogic sleep or yoga nidra, those are all things that are being done by many people today. So yes, you might enhance your dreaming recollection, because we all dream, we all dream, unless people that have a sleep that is so restless that they might as well not sleep, because it's worse to toss and turn. But if you're tossing and turning, let's take it deeper. So while you're tossing and turning, part B of the assignment, what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? In what way? Are you sick of yourself thinking about it? Are you telling yourself, almost loathfully, yeah, I'm going to think about that now too? Oh, let's think about it, baby. And, what do you think about? What's that dialogue about? You see, inner dialogue. What's that about? How do you feel about it? What are the words? What are the adjectives? What are the descriptive words that you use when you're wording these thoughts and hearing them in your head? And I don't mean you actually hear a voice. You hear an inner voice, you know what I mean? I mean, you think it. It's like if you were reading it, you're thinking it, right? You think in words, although you're using them to describe the action or the feeling, etc. But so in the inner dialogue, take it as far deep as who you are in the dream state and who you are if or when you are tossing and turning. If and when. Those two. And do it without any judgment at all. At all. Do it instead with a gratitude to your inner self for really making this possible, because you have to allow yourself to see and witness these tools that you have. The ego, the dreams, the inner dialogue, all of it are beautiful tools. So kind of in that state, have gratitude, contemplate it. Find out about yourself. Who are you? Reveal yourself unto yourself. And you will find so much that you can not judge, but you can learn from. And you can decide in awareness whether to keep it or not. Does it serve you or not? Is that something that, yes, I could work on? And I don't even call it work. I could tweak and shift the dial a little. It's all about adjusting. Adjusting our perspective, adjusting the emotion and how it triggers us, adjusting the trigger valve. So many things. So use them all as tools. And in the inner dialogue, respect yourself. If you find yourself disrespecting yourself, there you go. That has got to be worked on. in that sense, I will say work. Can't play with that. Respect yourself. And if you can't find any reason to respect yourself, even when you talk to yourself, then A, how is anyone going to respect you? But B, why? 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 And you are, you know, and if you don't respect your life and yourself, then yes, that's a big challenge. But if somebody in that situation is listening to this, then that means that there is awareness that can be dialed in. So there's not this thing of great despair of there's no turning back from very dark times. You can all the time, and all the time thus far, because I've had pretty hard times where I didn't even think I was gonna pull out of it. But you respect yourself and you fall in love with yourself all over again. All over again. So listen to the inner dialogue of the dreamer, and in the next recording, I'll give you a little bit more on that and move on to another part of the inner dialogue.